Good morning. Welcome to another class of this video ICT based video classes. In this class, we will discuss about the superconductivity, the phenomenon of superconductivity, properties of superconductors, Meissner's effect, type 1, type 2 superconductors, and applications of the superconductors or conductivity. This is one of the novel discovery, one of the beautiful discovery made by Kamerlingh Worms in the year 1911. The very name indicates superconductivity. What it means? Superconductivity. The word superconductivity means that the electrical conductivity of a conductor or a material is absolutely 100% with no practical electrical resistance. I hope you will understand. Superconductivity is an electrical state of a conductor or a material. It is an electrical state of a material or a conductor. At this electrical state, a conductor has no resistance practically. It means that it conducts the electrical current 100% without any loss of power. What a great phenomenon it is. Just by experience this definition, we can understand what is the applications of this phenomenon of superconductivity. If we achieve the state of superconductivity, then the power loss is zero. Therefore, a sophisticated instruments can be developed, sophisticated research will take place, sophisticated technology will develop in many fields with this phenomena or with this electrical state. That's why this is a novel discovery, this is a novel phenomena. This was discovered by Kamerlingh Worms in the year 1911. Right. Yeah, usually for the sake of the learners, I will go for the material that will be actually serves the purpose of the learners. Okay? Right. I hope now you can able to see the material for the superconductivity in the window. Just now I said that superconductivity is an electrical state of material where the material has no electrical resistance. It means that at the state of superconductivity, the material becomes practically a perfect conductor. perfect conductor, not good conductor, perfect conductor. There are good conductors, silver. Likewise, such materials are good conductors. Okay, silver, copper, and etc. But this is a superconducting state where the material becomes a perfect conductor. Right. This particular phenomena or this particular discovery was made by Kamerlingh Onnes in 1911 while he is conducting some experiments, the electrical experiments, on certain materials at a low temperatures. He is conducting a series of experiments on certain materials at low temperatures. Okay, and in his series of experiments at a particular stage, he found that some metals and metallic mixtures shows this amazing property at a temperatures near to the absolute zero. What he observed? He observed that certain materials, certain metals and certain metallic mixtures can exhibit the property of superconductivity at very low temperatures, which is nearer to the absolute zero. While he is studying the electrical conductivity of mercury at very low temperatures at a particular stage, he suddenly found that mercury at 4.1 K 19 Kelvin, nearly 4.2 Kelvin, it becomes a superconductor with zero resistance. What he found initially found that mercury become a superconductor with zero resistance at a temperature equal to 4.2 Kelvin. 0 Kelvin means minus 273 degrees centigrade. Therefore, 4 Kelvin means 269 minus 269 degrees centigrade. At about minus 268 or 269 degrees of centigrade or 4 Kelvin, a mercury column becomes a superconductor by exhibiting zero practical resistance. This is the first observation made by Kamerlingh Onnes, and with this he studied these properties in different materials and ultimately he put forward the novel discovery of superconductivity of materials at low temperatures in the year 1911. This is about the superconductivity, the phenomenon of superconductivity. Right. Very clearly, certain materials can exhibit the property of superconductivity at very low temperatures. The temperature at which a material can become a superconductor is known as transition temperature or critical temperature. Transition temperature or critical temperature of a material is nothing but a particular temperature at which the normal electrical state of a material. Again I am repeating, the normal electrical state of a material becomes a superconducting state. It means that at that particular temperature or below that particular temperature, the material now it will act as a superconductor and its practical resistance becomes zero. Every material has its own transition temperature. It is a special property, it is the own property or it is the characteristic property of a material. At this temperature or below this temperature, the material that particular material becomes a superconductor. Above that temperature, its electrical state is normal electrical state. Right. Okay. In the beginning days, scientists found that the Critical temperature or the transition temperature of mercury is 4.19 Kelvin, and for aluminum it is 1.19 Kelvin, and for gallium it is 1.09 Kelvin, and for lead it is 7.19 Kelvin. These are the transition temperatures of some materials which are discovered or which are found in the beginning days of the transition, the superconductivity. This is an excellent and novel phenomena or a novel discovery. At the state of superconductivity, the resistance of the electrical resistance of a material or a wire or a conductor becomes zero. That itself reveals a great strength for the research. That itself gives a great encouragement to develop so many instruments, sophisticated instruments, so much of technology in different fields. Right. Now, let us discuss or let us see what are the basic properties of superconductors. Right. At ordinary temperatures, the specific resistance of superconductors is high. Specific resistance of superconductors is high means at ordinary temperatures, the superconductors have high resistance, relatively high resistance and high resistivity. We have silver, copper, they are good conductors. At normal temperatures, they are good conductors. But it is difficult to convert this good conductors into superconductors. Only moderate conductors, materials or conductors which have high specific resistance at ordinary temperatures can exhibit this property. This is a very important observable fact, because we have good conductors at normal temperatures, that is silver and copper. But silver and copper, they are not useful. It is difficult to make them as superconductors. That's why the materials that will exhibit the superconductivity has a high specific resistance at ordinary temperatures. One of the surprising things. Next, different isotopes of an element possess different transition temperatures. Very important. Different isotopes, have different transition temperatures. If the mass number of an isotope increases, so transition temperature decreases. In case of isotopes, if mass number increases, so transition temperature decreases. It means that an isotope with more mass number has less transition temperature. It means that it exhibits superconductivity even at low temperatures. Right. Addition of impurities does not destroy the superconductivity. Okay. Suppose if you add some foreign materials to the to a specimen or to a conductor as an impurity, it also exhibits superconductivity. But the transition temperature decreases. That is very important thing. At superconducting state, crystals does not changes. The crystal structure does not changes. Very important thing. At the state of superconductivity, crystal structure remains same. At superconducting state, elastic properties does not change. Elastic properties means Young's modulus, bulk modulus, modulus of rigidity, and elastic fitting, and such properties remains same at superconducting state. But at superconducting state, all thermoelectric effects vanish. Thermoelectric effect means Peltier effect, Thomson's effect, and etc. All these effects will disappear at superconducting state. Good conductors like copper, silver never possess superconductivity. That is the first point. Only moderate conductors can exhibit the property of superconductivity, not good conductors. Superconducting state can be destroyed by applying external strong magnetic field. Let us see this one eagerly. Yes, if a material exhibits superconductivity at a particular temperature, when once it is maintained at a particular temperature, its superconducting state can be destroyed by applying strong external magnetic field. Okay, it means that we can destroy superconducting state by means of application of strong magnetic fields. And another important thing, at a superconducting state, material loses its magnetic nature. At superconducting state, a material loses its magnetic nature. A ferromagnetic material no longer a ferromagnetic material at the superconducting state. And you can destroy the superconducting state by applying external magnetic field. It means that superconducting state and magnetic nature, these two are the rivals. These two will interrupt the other. These two will manage the others. That is most important thing that we have to observe. At superconducting state, materials act as a perfect diamagnetic material. Suppose a ferromagnetic material is maintained at its transition temperature. It means that it is converted as superconductor with its transition temperature. Okay. At that transition temperature, now that material no longer remain as a ferromagnetic material. It becomes a diamagnetic material. It means that it loses its ferromagnetic behavior or it loses its magnetic behavior. And all magnetic lines inside the material will disappear at the state of superconductivity. That's why I said that superconductivity and magnetic field, these two are the rivals. These two will destroy one another. These two will change the state of one with the other. Okay, these are the very interesting and very important observable properties, experimentally observed properties as far as the superconductors are concerned. Right. Let us switch into Meissner's effect. Meissner's effect is nothing but the nature of the superconductor with reference to its magnetic behavior. Just now, in the properties, we learned that a material loses its magnetic behavior at the superconducting state. That was experimentally exhibited and explained by Meissner in the year 1933. That is what is known as the Meissner's effect. Okay. Let us understand this one with this diagram. This is a material. This material is kept in a magnetic field. Okay. This is a ferromagnetic material. If this is a ferromagnetic material, it can conduct more number of lines through the internal material or to the inner material of the specimen. That is the behavior of ferromagnetic material when it is at the ordinary temperatures or when it is in the normal state in the magnetic field. In the magnetic field, ferromagnetic material will act as a good conductor of magnetic flux lines. Therefore, this is the behavior of ferromagnetic material at a temperature greater than Tc, transition temperature. It means that the temperature at which it becomes a the superconductor. Therefore, we maintain the temperature other than this one, more than that one. Therefore, it will behave normally, and it will remain as a ferromagnetic material, and it will act as a good conductor of magnetic flux lines. Now, if the temperature of this material gradually decreasing, and if the temperature approaches to its transition temperature or its critical temperature, it means that if the temperature of this material is reduced to the transition temperature, or it becomes less than that one, then at that state all the lines that are passing through the material will be expelled out. The flux lines comes out. Why flux lines comes out? Because now it is not in a position to conduct the magnetic lines of force. It means that now it will become a material, okay, a material for the bad conductor of magnetic lines of force or the magnetic flux lines. Therefore, this reveals that a specimen, a superconductor at the superconducting state, will no longer in a position to conduct the magnetic flux lines. If they are there before the temperature, okay, at the superconducting state, all the lines will be expelled out, because now the specimen is a bad conductor or diamagnetic material for the magnetic flux. Okay, this is what is known as the Meissner's effect. Right? Meissner's effect states that a superconducting material at its transition temperature become a non-magnetic material by not allowing any magnetic lines of force through it. It will expel all the lines of forces. According to the Meissner's effect, a superconductor becomes perfectly diamagnetic material below its transition temperature or below critical temperature. Therefore, below critical temperature, magnetic induction inside the superconductor is zero. And Meissner's effect is a reversible effect. It means that when temperature increases, okay, after transition temperature, again the lines of force will re-enter into the material, because now the material becomes ferromagnetic material, or the material now attains its normal behavior. Normal behavior. That's why this is, okay, this is a reversible effect. Meissner effect is a reversible effect, and this effect or this phenomena reveals that magnetic field and magnetic behavior and superconducting behavior are inverse behaviors. They are opposite behaviors. One behavior doesn't allow the other behavior. If one behavior exists, the other behavior must not be there. The material has to lose it. Okay, that is the relation between magnetic field and the magnetic behavior and the superconducting behavior. Now, let us see what are the various applications of superconductors. Superconductors are used to produce sensitive magnetometers based on spread devices, superconducting quantum interface devices. It is used to produce the fast digital circuits, used to produce powerful superconducting electromagnets used in Malgave trains, MRI, NMR, particle accelerators. Particle trains means magnetic level trains, magnetic elevated trains. superfast trains. Superfast magnetic elevated tracks are made with the phenomenon of the property of superconducting. Okay, they used superconducting electromagnets to make the tracks of magnetic elevated trains. Right. It is used to produce the low loss power cables. As there is no resistance, no power loss. That's a great importance in the research, great importance in the development of instruments, sophisticated instruments, great importance in the development of technology, communication technology, and etc. and etc. Used to produce high sensitivity particle detectors, used to produce RF and microwave filters, used to produce production of superconducting motors and generators with low power loss and low weight, produce superconducting sensors, used to produce superconducting transformers to the energy storage and the transmission with no power loss. We can able to transmit and storage electrical energy with superconducting transformers. Therefore, superconductivity phenomena is used to develop superconducting transformers for that particular purpose. Very clearly, as there is no resistance, no power loss, that's why it has great and sophisticated applications in modern technology, modern sophisticated circuitry, digital circuitry, communication circuitry, and so many other very important technology. This is about the applications of the the superconductors. Now we will discuss about the type 1 and the type 2 superconductors. Type 1 and type 2 superconductors. Type 1 superconductor and type 2 superconductors. Type 1 and type 2 superconductors. Right. Type 1 superconductor and type 2 superconductor. Superconductivity is a phenomena or is an electrical state at a particular temperature. A material loses the property of its resistance. Its resistance practically becomes zero at that particular temperature or below that particular temperature. That is what is known as the critical temperature or transition temperature. And now onwards, so from that stage it will act as a superconductor by exhibiting zero electrical resistance practically. Right? Now, what are type 1 and type 2 superconductors? The only thing is, we can convert some materials abruptly into a superconductor at a particular temperature, whereas in case of other materials it is not possible to convert them abruptly into superconductors at a particular temperature. They have some range of temperature during which it has the superconducting nature and the ordinary magnetic behavior, and later after a certain temperature it becomes perfectly superconductor. I hope you will understand. Depends upon the nature or flexibility of the materials. Certain materials become superconductors exactly at a particular temperature. whereas certain other materials, okay, become superconductors in the range of temperatures, not abruptly at a particular temperature. That is the difference between type 1 and type 2 superconductors. That reveals that the flexibility of the materials to become superconductivity, the ease of materials, okay, for to become superconductors. Certain materials are very conveniently become superconductors abruptly at a particular temperature, whereas the others are not likewise. They have dual nature for a certain range. That's why we have two types of superconductors: type 1 superconductor and type 2 superconductor. Right? Like this is the external. What is one? Magnetic field. External magnetic field. This is the magnetic induction developed inside the material. Okay, in case of type 1 superconductor, if the external magnetic field is gradually increasing at a particular field, or this one at a particular field, this is a superconducting material. At a particular external magnetic field, the superconductor becomes ordinary conductor. From 0 to Hc, the material behaves like a superconductor. Exactly at a particular value of external field, it becomes automatically it becomes a conductor. It loses the property of superconductivity. Okay, that's why I said it is as the response of superconductivity with the external magnetic field. It means that in case of certain materials, we can convert them into ordinary conductors from its superconducting state only at a particular value of or definite value of external magnetic field. It is this value in case of such materials. Below this value, this is a superconductor which is maintained at critical temperature. After this value, now it becomes a conductor. Such materials are known as type 1 superconductors, which became ordinary conductors at abruptly a single value of external magnetic field. Okay, right. Therefore, type 1 superconductors obeys Meissner's effect perfectly. They are soft superconductors because of this reason that they lose their superconductivity easily at a particular value. Right. Other superconductors. You please observe this one. This is the other type of superconductor. This is the external field. This is the magnetic field inside the material. Now the specimen is a superconductor. It means that the specimen is maintained at critical temperature, below the critical temperature. It means that the specimen is at superconducting state. Now we are applying external magnetic field. This external magnetic field try to destroy the magnetism. Okay, therefore the external magnetic field induces magnetic field inside the material. Therefore, magnetic field induces likewise. Okay, at a particular value of external magnetic field, this type of superconductors become magnetic materials. Up to this one, this is a superconductor. Superconductor means it is not having magnetic behavior. It loses the magnetic behavior. Therefore, it is a perfect superconductor. At a particular value of external magnetic field, now this superconductor acquires the property of magnetic behavior, and it means that now it will allow the magnetic lines of force, but simultaneously it is having the property of superconductivity. That is a very surprising thing. It means that it is having both the property of superconducting state as well as the magnetic behavior. If you further increase the external magnetic field further and further, okay, it loses gradually the superconducting state, and at this point it became totally the ordinary conductor. It means that from Hc1 to H2Cu2, it means that in case of certain materials, there is a range of external magnetic field. During this range, the material exhibits dual nature. The material has dual properties. One is the superconducting property, other one is the magnetic property. These two properties will coexist in this range. After Hc2, now it loses the property of what this one, the superconducting, and now it becomes a conducting state. It become an ordinary conductor. Okay, this is about the type 2 superconductors. It means that they are hard superconductors. Okay, why hard? They are not. It is not possible to convert them into conductors by means of external magnetic field at once at a particular value. They won't yield immediately. They will yield gradually from one place to the other place. Meanwhile, the specimen becomes acquires the property of magnetism. That is very important thing. We said that magnetic behavior and superconducting behavior are quite opposite. If one behavior exists, the other behavior will automatically disappear. But in case of type 2 superconductor, these two behaviors will be there in between a range of external magnetic field, okay, from Hc1 to Hc2. Below Hc1, it is a perfect superconductor, no magnetic behavior. At Hc1, it will be it is a superconductor as well as it acquires the behavior of magnetic nature. In between Hc1 to Hc2, okay, the specimen exhibits the property of superconductivity as well as magnetic nature. After Hc2, now the specimen becomes no longer a superconductor, it will remain as a conductor and it totally acquires the behavior of magnetic nature. That is about the second type of superconductors, which are known as the hot superconductors. Okay, type 2 superconductors or half superconductors obey Meissner's effect, but not completely. It means that if external magnetic field is applied, or if the temperature is reduced to critical temperature, it becomes a superconductor, but still some magnetic behavior will remain in such materials. That's why they doesn't obey the Meissner's effect completely. This is about the main difference between type 1 and the type 2 superconductors. Okay, type 1 and the type 2 superconductors. The fact of type 1 and type 2 superconductors arises because of the effect of superconductivity with external magnetic field. With external magnetic field, if a material loses its superconductivity state exactly at a particular value, it is known as the type 1 superconductor or soft superconductor. If the material exhibits the superconductivity nature as well as the magnetic nature during a particular range of external magnetic field, it is known as the type 2 superconductor. Right? This is about the type 1 and type 2 superconductors. Thank you very much. See you in the next class.